Hey there, everyone. My name is Ari, and I am the host of Made of Metal, a motivational podcast where we tell stories about regular people overcoming insurmountable odds. So, I created that podcast because I wanted to infuse a little bit more motivation into my daily life and share these stories with other people who can also benefit from having a little bit more motivation in their routine. Going about your daily life, living, going to work, taking care of children, whatever you may be doing, can be very energy heavy. So it can take a lot out of you, especially if you're doing it every single day. It's very easy to get stuck in a rut mentally. So these stories are basically meant to sort of remind you that you too are strong, resilient, and able to do anything you set your mind to, because these stories are real. They are real people who've done these real things. And in telling these stories and in creating this podcast, I also wanted to showcase the other side of motivation, which is the side of motivation that I think a lot of people don't talk about a lot, which is that you don't feel motivated 100% of the time. Like, there are some days you wake up and you don't want to do anything at all. You just want to do what you've always done, that you know you can do correctly, and not reach or grow or try to do anything that kind of puts you in a state of insecurity. And I personally struggle with this a lot, in that the main topic, the main struggle is confidence in myself. I struggle enormously with confidence in myself, and you can even see it in this video. I'm super nervous. I am not used to creating media with myself. I don't like taking pictures of myself. I don't like being on any social media. I mean, I like it for the social aspect. So what I don't like is kind of like seeing myself on social media. I want to be very specific about this because I'm very critical, and I will do something as in comparing myself to somebody else, or and I don't necessarily mean appearances wise. I mean in products. So I will listen to like a great podcast and I'll be like, wow, they sound amazing. This was so good. I will never sound like this, or nobody's ever going to think that I sound like this, or nobody's going to ever think that this is interesting content. Nobody's going to want to, in particular for the vlog, nobody's going to want to see me. Nobody's going to want to hear what I'm talking about. Nobody's going to relate to these struggles. And this is just giving you a bit of insight into the negative self-talk cycle that I think a lot of us get stuck into. And it's just not helpful at all. And this also translates and manifests in me being very much a procrastinator, in that I will take a long time to start new projects because I'm not confident I can do it to the 100% expert level, which absolutely makes no sense. And when I do put something out, I am my worst critic, which I think a lot of people can relate to. Nobody can talk down to yourself the way that yourself can. And it really, really, can change your entire outlook on something. Me personally, I'm a survivor of childhood trauma. So a lot of my thought patterns I developed when I was a child, and it's sort of undoing those thought patterns that I sort of struggle with, because it can be something that you didn't even realize was an unhealthy thought pattern or coping mechanism, because it's something you've always done. But once it's kind of brought to your attention, the responsibility is on you to address that and sort of correct that for yourself. You owe it to yourself. So when I procrastinate, or when I see myself, taking a really critical approach to a new project, I basically tell myself this: Einstein started as a beginner. Everyone starts as a beginner. And just acknowledging and really absorbing that fact kind of helps me at least get over that hump of not wanting to do it at all. Because I will, like I said, I won't even touch it. I'll just completely ignore it until it comes to a point where I'm like, everybody's a beginner. You'll never get better at it if you don't at least start it. So that's one of my main coping mechanisms, to basically just do it. Forget all of the pain, not even the pain. Forget all of the pain of having to see yourself doing something and not being confident about it, just live with it, sit with it, and know that you will be better because you've done this. Your future self is going to thank you for taking that really scary first step. So that is one of my main, that's definitely one of my main coping mechanisms. I also really struggle with confidence just in social media, because I feel like social media highlights just the really positive and good and the wins, all of the things that people kind of want you to see without the full picture. So you don't see all of the losses, all of the failures, all of the days this person sat back and said, like, why am I doing this? This is never going to work. We just see the kind of the fruition of all of that. And when I kind of find myself doing these things, when I kind of find myself in these negative self-talk patterns, or, looking at social media and saying like, wow, this person's doing XYZ and I'm only doing this, I like to look at myself, look at all the things that I've accomplished up to this point, and acknowledge that I am a work in progress. I too am going to be great. I too am doing things that are benefiting me and, making me into a better person. And I can acknowledge that I may not have all the answers right now, but I am trying. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, just to kind of show you that, you know what I mean? Because I am a described, I wouldn't say self-described, but people always tell me I'm very smiley, I'm very happy, I'm very positive, and I am, but it takes a lot of work. It's not necessarily I wake up every day and feel this way. I kind of have to convince myself, you know what I mean? And I kind of acknowledge all the good things in my life to kind of get myself into the right mindset. So mindset is everything. It truly, truly is. And even in creating this video, I'm super nervous. But I'm going to post it. I don't care. I'm going to just suck it up and post it. And I think that a lot of people would benefit from kind of like seeing and hearing me struggle this way, because I want to normalize it. We all struggle. We're all works in progress. That does not mean that we're not all masterpieces at the same time. Those are not mutually exclusive. So thank you so much for joining me for this first episode. I'm so nervous, but again, I just want to show you guys that even though you're nervous, you can still put it out there and just kind of like accept it. All right, this is my first video. It's not going to be perfect, but the fact that I'm even taking this first step, it makes me really happy. So thanks you so much for joining me. If you guys want to check out the podcast, you can check it out at Made of Mettle Podcast, all together, out on Facebook and on Instagram. We also have madeofmetallepodcast.com, again, all together, and that's Made of Mettle, Mettle. So thank you so much for joining me. This is Ari the hippie taking her first scary step. I really appreciate you guys, and have a wonderful week. See ya. Bloom where you're planted.